Hey Craig, you asked a good question about the grids and all that kind of stuff. Now I'm going to put this file in here so that you can download it. This is the latest profit planner that we've created that is going out today for our insiders and our profit planner members. And so as I showed you in the video, we create our packages. So see, I have this file. This one I'm going to give you has only 2 packages in it, and I'll explain how we use this. So this is a common tools, assets for all up here, and you'll see I have only one thing there. So that's the ribbon. I put that at the top, and I can click on that and turn it off and on as I want. Now I'll show you another one in just a second. But here are the planner packages, and you can see I've got this one, which is the latest, the Profitable Strategies JV package. Or you can look at this one, which is the How to Find Profitable Niches, right? So what I've done is just go into Photoshop, and I'll expand these to show you. I'll start with this one. So I've got folders created, and all you do when you create a folder is that you highlight the layers that you've created. So here's a JV, and you can see that highlights that. Here is and I held down the shift key and the click, so I've got them both clicked. So now it's that title part right there. That's the folder, that is in the folder. Now if I was creating a folder, I would just highlight those and then click on this little folder icon down here. This is Photoshop CC 2017, as you can see up here. I subscribe to the Adobe monthly plan, so I always stay pretty much updated. I don't know why they haven't changed the name of this, but it is what it is. So now I've created the folder, and then I just named the folder to title, and you can see I've got folder for subhead. So I keep it all organized this way. Then when I'm ready to create a new one, all I do is come in here, I right click, I get this new menu, and I can come to the top and click duplicate group, and then I just go in and edit that group to create another package. And it can be completely different, but it uses the same stuff, and I keep them all in the same folder or in the same file so that I can get to them and create whatever I want. Now you asked specifically about the grids, so it's probably going to be a little bit hard to see, but you'll notice I've got this blue grid goes across the top here, and that just gives me an area to put a subhead at the top, or sometimes a headline or whatever. And sometimes I'll flip it so that I will have I can just drag a grid line from the ruler, and you just grab it, move it wherever you want it to go, right? So if I want it to be right there so that I always know that this is going to line up with my little banner, I would have that horizontal grid there. The left one here that you see usually stays exactly where it is, because that just gives me a little bit of an edge over here that I know is going to be on the that nothing's going to bleed off the page. And I've got this grid, which is my bottom head, that I have lined everything up here, because this is 2 separate elements, remember. If I open that up and show you, when I go into the title, I've got JV there as a separate element, and I've got the headline as a separate element. Okay. When you learn this grid and organization system, creating these covers is really easy. The important grids are here. So here's this one. Oh, and I've selected something here, so I've got to get back to that. All right, so I can show you these grids. Okay, so here is the important grid. This is the one that I keep here that is for the spiral bound covers. And this one is the box boundary. So if I've decided I'm going to create this as a box software, then I know that I want to line everything up over here, and this is going to be the spine of the box template that I'm going to use. So I get my measurements and everything from, oh, and I've got a bottom grid then, which is just a little bit of an edge down at the bottom as well. So, okay, so I get all my measurements from my eCover creator. So I'm going to show you that. So hold on. Okay, so I use eCover Authority and Boxshot King both, but we've moved most everything to eCover Authority because it's cheaper, it's a one-time payment, and it does exactly what we want it to do, and it's exactly the same software. You can get that at nams.ws/eCover, and I'll put a link to that in here. So I'm going to log in here, click to access the software, and all of these templates come up. And I use two. Almost always I use two of these templates, sometimes more. But most always these are my two basic ones. So here is the the ring spiral binder. The ring spiral binder is the one I use a lot. And here is the all of the stuff you can do with it. So you can preview the final render here. You can get the size info here, or you can download the offline guide, right? So you can do any of those things with this. And what I am going to do is select this. Okay, I'm going to upload my own. I'm going to come back to my Photoshop. You should be seeing that on here. Now I'm going to do a file export. And that's going to give me the opportunity to create a flat, and you can take a look at it there. Now, one thing I didn't show you was, let me just make sure I fix this. I have a folder here that is common to all. Notice that these are inset. So I have planner packages, assets for all, and backgrounds. So if I have these, I can turn everything off and on at the level of where it is, right? So if it's got stuff below it, I can turn everything off and on there. Same with my background. So the background now is kind of it's a transparent kind of a white background. So it's got a little bit of a white gradient to it, but not much. But maybe I want a different background. Let's go blue. So there's a blue background. There's a blue gradient background. There's a different blue background. Looks like the same thing. And I think I've got a gray here. This is the one I ended up using, was the gray background. So if I do the file export like I showed you, and I do the export all here, I keep it the same size. I just keep the size, and notice that it looks pretty good from the margins. It looks like I've got a little blank margin over here, which is just fine, which is what I want. And I would export that. Okay, I'm not going to export it because I've already got it. So I'm going to bring up this. I'm going to go to my, let's see, where is this going to be? I think it is in Products Planners. Maybe it's in Profit Planners. So here it is in my folder. I've got this organized as well into my my graphics, right? So I've got the graphics for each of these packages, and you can see here's the flat that I have for that. So there's the flat, and they turn into covers like this. So I take the flat, and I will, let me make this smaller, come back to my screen here. So I'm going to upload images, and here is my flat. And where's the flat? So I've named it so that I know what they are. So profitable JV strategies -original -checklist -flat. So if I put in the checklist, I open that. It's going to go to my eCover package. I grab that. Now I can build this entire thing in this software if I want to, but I find it's easier to go ahead and do it in Photoshop and be able to drag the corners to fill out the entire thing. Notice I still have my thing over here, and you get a preview of what it looks like over here on what you've selected. So if I only wanted to go to there, I could do that, right? It looks kind of terrible, but I could do it. Okay, so I come up, select and continue, click finalize. There's my graphic cover. If I click on transparency, it's going to knock out the background so it becomes a PNG. That's what we do, is we capture the PNG. So that works perfectly. Okay, so now I'm going to download that. I just click download, and it cooks a little bit, and then it gives me the opportunity to download it to wherever I want to download it. And it brings it in as this file category. But what I do is take it to my my graphics folder. This is the Profitable JV Partnerships, and I would click on the checklist flat. Where is that checklist flat, which is what it came in as? So there's my naming convention. This is the product. It's the original size. It's the checklist piece of the checklist cover, and it's the flat. And instead of the flat, what I would do is just put on here cover. So now I have both the flat, here's the checklist flat, and here's the checklist cover. Okay, so that's the way that works.